I broke one of the basic rules to photography in this shot. But rules are meant to be broken, right? Well, let's talk about it. There's a lot of rules in photography, and most of them are for good reason, you know? They help you jump into a project that maybe you've never done before. You can kind of look up what the general consensus on how to shoot a certain thing is, and you can walk into it with an idea on how to capture it and what the best practices are on something you've never done before, which is great. But that does kind of limit your creativity. It does end up kind of making your work look like everyone else's work. I went online early in my journey of photography. Pretty much everyone says, hey, shoot portraits on an 85 or a 50. And I did that for a while. Fell in love with the 85. Thought it was great. Really, a lot of my portrait work, my favorite shots have been on an 85mm lens. Just kind of works, it's flattering. There's a lot of reasons why, but it's a flattering lens, generally speaking, for portraits. I like it. But sometimes you gotta break the rules. I love shooting portraits in my apartment, but it's very pros and cons in contrast to shooting at a nice studio. Because when you walk into a nice studio, you walk into a space that kind of like fires up your inspiration and your creativity because of just the inherent qualities of the space. Whereas when I shoot in my apartment, we're shooting literally in my bedroom / living room space. I've got to transform that space into a photo studio that hopefully when my client walks in, they feel some sort of way. They feel the inspiration when they walk in, but it's just my bedroom, On the upside, every piece of gear that I own is right here. If I get an idea, if I need a thing, it's all right here, which is nice. But I'm excited. We're gonna pull the studio stuff together and get ready for Lucky. Hopefully we're gonna create something that transcends the space, and doesn't feel like it was shot in an apartment at all, hopefully. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do today. Hopefully we're gonna create some magic in my bedroom. Well, you get it. But I'm excited today because I'm shooting with a very good friend of mine. His name's Lucky. I met Lucky through Marcus in the Subway shoots. Every now and again you'll see Marcus with an incredible makeup setup for some of his characters, and that makeup is provided by Lucky. Lucky is a filmmaker. I don't think he's even specifically a makeup guy, but he's just very talented because of his work in films. His talents and abilities and credits go far beyond that. When you think of a true New York artist person, I think of Lucky. There's something that really deep in my heart I love about shooting portraits and shooting quirky, weird lighting and props and locations. So when someone reaches out and specifically wants to do that, I'm pumped. I'm like, let's go. I was shooting portraits. I was loving the 85 for most of my portraits, but then all my portraits started kind of feeling a little too similar. They were lacking a sense of personality, I feel like, from the subject. Something just wasn't feeling right. So on a whim, I just decided to switch lenses, and I grabbed the 20mm and I walked up super close and kind of got a downward angle, kind of a fisheye lens kind of look. It's not, obviously it's a 20mm, so it's not quite as extreme, but you kind of get that sense. And what I realized was when I get really close and the way the lens kind of warped the perspective and kind of hyper prioritized kind of the face and kind of everything else kind of stretched down, it was just leaning deeply into someone, and you just saw their facial features kind of pop and their personality kind of just started exploding through the lens, and these shots just looked so different than my 85mm portraits. I mean, couldn't be more different. And now it's a part of my every single portrait shoot I do. I'm grabbing that 20 and I'm getting in your face, and I'm messing with them, and I'm joking with them, and I'm giving them prompts and emotions to show, and asking them to give me back some personality because I know it's gonna pop. He's got such a fun personality, and I feel like it really shows through in those 20mm shots. Whereas you don't see it quite as much in the 85. I will always have my 85 out for every portrait shoot ever. But now I'm also gonna have that 20, always. Because it gives me something that creates emotion more, you know? We are trying to evoke a feeling, a reaction, an emotion with our photography, you know? A photo that you don't feel anything of is a photo that you don't even hardly notice. So we want to create work that gets attention, especially in this godforsaken social media landscape that we live in. The things that get attention are the things that evoke a reaction. And your photography should do that too. And videography, whatever, you know, it has to. You just want it to be an authentic one. Some of my favorite art that I've ever seen, when I first looked at it, I was like, what's going on here? It's not computing, you know? And then over time, you look at it again and you go, okay, all right. I love that this photo took me on a journey of me trying to process what was going on and why it seemed to be wrong at first and then grew on you. You know, kind of like when I'm gonna sound like such a grandpa. Remember when you like bought a CD and you listened through an album for the first time, and there's always the songs that you love immediately. And after a few weeks of listening to the album, these other songs start to stand out and they might become your actual favorite songs. You had to process them, you had to wrestle with them, you had to think about them. And I don't know, there's something special about both. The 85 and the 50 will always be a great choice for portraits, but mix it up, grab a different lens, go real tight, go real wide, go real close. Change up your lighting, mix it up. You have to do things that might be wrong. Keep it fresh for yourself, try something new. And a lot of your ideas are gonna be stupid and they're not gonna work. But then sometimes you'll do something weird and it works, you know? And the only way you find those out is by trying things that are against the rules or breaking the rules or something, you know? I just wanna encourage you to do something weird today. Nothing illegal, please. Keep it within, you know what I'm saying. So maybe you've broken a rule of photography and maybe it unlocked some fresh creativity in your art. I'd love to hear about that in the comments. Please like and subscribe on this channel. I'm looking forward to sharing more about my life as a full-time freelance photographer and videographer living in New York. It's a fun ride.